I am Dracula. I bid you welcome.
It's alive!
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Google gobble, Google gobble.
We belong dead.
Have a potato.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Hi. I should have said The Good, The Bad and The Universal, because this is we're revisiting Universal, which gives me the opportunity to play what I think is a pretty cool Universal intro. I'm really happy with that edit, and it's been a long time since I heard it. I listened to it back again today, and I really like that one. So there's that going for it. And also, this is our 600th show. So there you go. There you go. Anyway, we are covering on this one The Invisible Ray from 1936. Now, missed this one because one of the things we did when we went for the Universal is we didn't bother going for all the sequels of The Invisible Man and The Mummy, right? We only did the originals, really, because they're not great series. And for some reason, I thought The Invisible Ray was part of The Invisible Man series, even though they came out the same year. It just passed me by. Yeah. And there's a reason I picked. This suddenly got on my radar, and I can't remember if I told you this at the time, but I was listening to various songs by Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kickers, who did the original Monster Mash, right?
And I assume all of it's like various spin-offs.
And it's very spin-off. I was particularly listening to the Monsters Holiday song, which is like their Christmas song from the Monster Mash. It's a pretty good song. But in several of the songs, I mean, I used to have a Monster Mash album when I was a kid, believe it or not. So there was about 10 songs on it, and they're kind of fun songs. They're pretty good. I kind of liked it a lot. And it's got a great cover. I'll send you a picture and show you, but it's got a pretty damn good cover as well. But one of the things that was kind of always on my radar since I was a kid, and I never really realised it, is in several of the songs he talks about a particular character that never heard of, which is Janosch, and I never knew where that was from. And it was this Christmas, I thought, what the hell is that? So I looked at the lyrics, and thought, and it was spelled Yanoch in the lyrics. It's like, no, I can't figure that out. And then I realised maybe it's phonetic, and it comes down to it was from this film, and his name is pronounced Janosch in the film, but it's actually Janos. Janos.
Yeah.
Janosch. So I was really intrigued by this, and it's like, blimey, there's a Universal film we missed. So I thought we'd better get to watching it. And apparently, the reason it was in all the Monster Mash songs is this film was played pretty much every weekend, and all the kids used to watch it. So all the little kids who buy Monster Mash, knew the character of Janosch, as well as they knew Frankenstein and the monster and the Dracula and the Wolfman. So that's why. And I figured, if kids would watch it over and over again, it must be pretty decent. It must be fun. Not so much, right?
No, it's fairly dour.
Yeah. Now, it's an interesting one because it pairs Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, which we did see a film, one of the early Universals with the both of them in, which was Black Cat, which I thought was a really good film. Do you remember that one?
Not at all.
It's a bizarro one where they're in an Art Deco house, and they're it's like playing mind games with each other, but at the end, Bela Lugosi literally skins Boris Karloff off screen, but it happens, right? So it's pretty dark and intense. This was something else. This was 1936, so 2 years later. And it's actually a very, very, very early sci-fi movie, in fact, which is quite unusual. There aren't many sci-fi films outside of Flash Gordon in this era. And in fact, I'm pretty sure we heard Flash Gordon sound effects at some points when he was
Probably.
firing the ray. B, some of the Flash Gordon music, and I swear to God, his lab looked like something out of Flash Gordon as well.
Oh, there were definitely parts that were borrowed from the Frankenstein sets.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, Flash Gordon, if you listen to the music of The Bride of Frankenstein and Flash Gordon uses a lot of music from Bride of Frankenstein, bizarrely. You know that? That's all in Flash Gordon. This didn't use that music. Yeah, so this one was... well, you've not really heard of the producers of this or the director, so I'm not going to talk about it. But basically, Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. And there's one actress called Frances Drake, which is weird as well.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And so we got Janos Rook is Boris Karloff. He's bizarrely he's Hungarian, and funny enough, Bela Lugosi is Hungarian, but he plays a Frenchman, which is weird. And he's basically got a massive telescope in the Carpathian Mountains, and he can see the Andromeda Galaxy and photograph a weird ray from it that's got this power. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be all in this castle, but then about 15 minutes, they go to Africa.
Yeah, that was strange.
Did you? It occurred to me while all this was going on, it was like, it's almost like they figured out they've got a few spare sets. Like, maybe this was a Tarzan film. And they thought, how can we write up some plot? Because basically it starts in his lab, then it goes to Africa, then it comes back to his lab for a bit, and then he goes to Paris? Or is it?
Yeah.
I was a bit confused.
Yeah.
Because at one point, I think they're in Paris, and there's clearly a Cockney newsboy. Which
and his landlady, I guess his landlady is like English as well.
Yeah, so I think they went to London, they didn't tell anyone, or at some point, I'm really not sure. What do you think of the film overall?
It was okay.
I found it quite dull.
There were bits that were kind of cool, like pretty much whenever Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi talk to each other.
Yeah,
it was usually pretty good.
They
had some good lines, but I can't remember any of them.
Stuff like, I'll tell you what, let me go to IMDb and look up the quotes. One bit of trivia I did see that made me laugh was the woman who played his mother, the one who keeps saying, Janos, the blind woman, Janos, saying, do not talk to them, they'll come begging to you.
Friends.
One thing that I found quite interesting was they go on about an asteroid hitting the Earth, which is like a common theory now about how the dinosaurs got wiped out, right?
Well, they hit the Earth all the time.
Yeah, but this is a massive
especially because they say that it's at least 1 billion years ago. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
the dinosaurs.
They're like, it was 1,000 million.
No, okay. What do you think of Boris Karloff's hair in this? Yeah, black frizzy hair.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty mental.
Pretty weird. I hadn't got to the point I was going to make. His mother in this, who keeps saying, Janos. She's the actress is 1 year older than Boris Karloff, her son. So there was that. And there was also this terrible romance, Crowbardian, wasn't there? Where Janos's young wife, who's kind of... he keeps going off and doing stuff. Hold on, sorry, the quotes aren't coming up in this bloody IMDb. It's gone weird. It's all black and red instead of normal colours. I'm having trouble reading this. But there were a couple of decent quotes, weren't there? Like warnings about playing with... The old mother delivered a few good ones. Yeah. Basically warnings.
Yeah, it's weird. And the last line, it's like, his terror will live on.
Yeah. Was there a question mark?
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Now that's a common 50s sci-fi thing. So this was well ahead of its time. So that was kind of interesting. But it is honestly off the top of my head. Apart from if you, I mean, you can include Metropolis and Frankenstein maybe as early sci-fi. There's very little early sci-fi of this period. There's The Invisible Ray, and there was actually.
You can argue The Invisible Man.
Oh, and The Invisible Man, yeah, absolutely. Any H.G. Wells stuff, right? Talking of which, there was an H.G. Wells story called The Shape of Things to Come, and they made a film called Things to Come in 1936. And in that film, get this, in that film, World War II started in 1940. This was made in 1936. Right,
Wow.
and there was bombing raids in London. It was really weird. It was really weird to think it was made 4 years before the war, and it had all this kind of predictive stuff in. It was super weird. Here's some of the oh no, really these aren't very good. I think it's how they're delivered. Really,
Yeah.
the universe is very large, and there are some secrets we are not meant to probe.
Yeah, that's very Eldritch horror.
And it's one from
Also, if you want to see a poster that completely misrepresents the film, look at the poster for this on Wikipedia. Like, it's him in his protective suit shooting lasers from his eyes
yeah, that's
on the
right.
entirety of what looks like some sort of image
City.
of Gotham City.
Yeah,
So-
it's a city, right? Yeah, they overdid it a bit. Yeah, but I like the protective suit. What made me laugh at one point, he runs between the camps and he wears his protective suit almost the whole way for some reason
Yeah.
that isn't explained. And also he glows in the dark. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of...
When it
It
gets,
is an interesting effect.
but luckily,
Well, it
in
was
the
an interesting attempt at an effect.
Yeah, it was all right. I actually quite liked the bit where we're shooting through space and we go past the moon. I think the moon one was very cool. After that, it doesn't stand up very well, but I thought the actual effect of passing the moon in space, Saturn was rubbish, right? But the moon was pretty cool. Way better than sort of they did with Flash Gordon 4 years later. Flash Gordon, they're just like lights hanging around the sky, right? And they're just flying through it. And there's even like steam going past them and stuff like that. Yeah, it was all over the place, really, because, like I say, it started in this lap in the Carpathians. Then they went to Africa, and they had some very dodgy... Again, it reminded me of Tarzan at the time. You never see Tarzan films. There's a reason for that. They've got a slight uncomfortableness in the way they address race, really.
Yeah.
And that's all going on. Yeah, I mean...
They keep referring to the African tribesmen as animals.
Did they? I didn't notice that. I just thought it was the way
Yeah,
they
there was
had
a few
this
times. So when
silly
he was
language.
healing the little kid, he was like, "Get the beast away from me," sort of thing.
Yeah,
It was really weird.
Yeah, I did like the fact that Lugosi come up with a cure in the field in Africa. That was pretty impressive. And he kept going on about astro harmonics, or what was it? We are all creatures of astrochemistry, or something like that, which is kind of true. Sounds very hippie.
Yeah.
And he's got a new element that's 1,000 times more powerful than radium. You've got the feeling that radium was a new thing when this was. It's a bit like
probably.
when you watch the early Doctor Who's, they latch onto something like of the time and keep going on about it and run it into the ground. Like if you watch very early Patrick Troughton ones about Cybermen, they're going on about stuff that was like popular in science at the time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I can't.
Allergies to gold?
It's stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Our radium of Mary Curie.
That was
1898. So it's 30 years old.
1898 or something like that.
It must have seemed kind of weird to people, though. I mean, this is pre-atomic bomb too, so radiation meant something different at this point to people, in the zeitgeist. So there is that. But they were talking about something 1,000 times more powerful than radium. They called it X or Radium X.
Radium X.
Yeah.
Why not just make up some sort of like dumb name? Like I think I even prefer unobtainium to that.
Unobtainium, yeah. Janushanium. Janushanium.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Or rucanium, something like that.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, like imagine if there was something that was like, I found oxygen X. It sounds dumb. Radium X.
Yeah, I did like the thing that he kind of somehow all this stuff made him be able to see images from the past. So he actually had photographic evidence of a meteor hitting the Earth, and it was kind of cool. It was a bit old-fashioned, but it was kind of cool that we saw the spinning Earth from space and a thing going towards it. We had like a rear view of it. You know what I mean? From we were almost like looking at the Earth in the same trajectory the meteor was heading, and then we saw it hit Africa, right? So from that, he should have known where it was, but I said, "Oh, we're going to Africa to look for it," and he kind of finds it. He terrifies the natives by melting a big rock.
Yeah, by melting a boulder that doesn't look like a boulder. But
yeah, it just looked like flour. It looked like someone had pushed flour into the bottom of it, and it just crumbled away. And his wife, who's wearing this really cool sort of Art Deco outfit, falls for this kind of nephew of the.
I remember them saying
Toffs.
like he's mapped parts of the moon or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just sat there thinking, it's like, are they trying to say he's been to the moon, or
No, they
he's just got a good telescope?
Because they did say at one point, you've been to. They do say something like you've been to the moon, but they mean he's been looking at the moon, right? I mean, he has got a massive telescope. It's ridiculously big. So they find he also does a bit of mining in this weird outfit, doesn't he? So that's kind of fun. And it is funny because basically they've given him a firework, and he has to act like
they
it's a
just given him
sample.
like a sparkler or something.
And he's acting like it's a bit of a sample, right? He's trying to put it in a container, and it's a firework, right? So
Yeah.
there's all that. And for some reason, they think he's dead.
So dumb.
Do they think he's dead?
Oh no, he fakes his own
He
death
fakes
after
his
he
own
finds
death.
out that
That's
blows in the death.
That's right.
He like melts a dude and pretends that he accidentally killed himself.
Oh yeah, he's
So-
in Paris. He's saying, "Oh, you're about the right weight and height." To this bloke, he's going, "Monsieur," he says, "John." I don't know what he says. Something like, "Do you want to see something lovely or something?" And then he melts him, and everyone thinks it's him. And then it turns into a weird thriller where he's creeping around the city, but he glows in the dark, so it's really kind of easy to spot. But he's got Bela Lugosi came up with a drug that would help keep the symptoms at bay as long as he keeps taking it. But when he doesn't take it, his touch
He
becomes
glows in
deadly.
the dark and he goes crazy, and he's
And
poisonous
but
to
he
the
dies
touch.
if he doesn't take his stuff. He cures his mother of blindness as well at one point.
Yeah,
Even though the Radium X beam blinded her in the first place or something. I don't know.
yeah. So
Basically,
he
they
starts
think he's-
murdering everyone involved in this like trip to Africa,
Yeah.
and
It's,
for no real reason other than one of them used the exact thing that he was doing
well,
in
first,
a way that he intended to make it.
yeah. He didn't want to publish
That's
yet, and they forced him to publish early. But also, you got to remember his wife. He thought his discovery was stolen, and his wife was stolen, so he was like doubly mad. And she kind of was, so fair enough. But it's his own fault for like going off for 3 months in Africa, not even telling anyone.
Yeah,
And it was funny. It was like, he must be miles away, but he they could run backwards and forwards between the camps and stuff like that. And
like it was a plot point that there was a dude that could run that far in less than a day.
So he sent him with a letter, and then he ran it himself in a full radiation suit
Yeah,
for no obvious reason. And all the natives were like kind of frightened and talking pidgin English, and he's like, and again reminded me of old Tarzan.
sketchy at best. So
and then it ends up in
So he starts murdering people in Paris, and then he's also melting statues on a church for
he's
no real
practicing.
reason.
And the landlady's coming back and telling him stuff. Now, at that point, I was thinking, are they in London now? Because everyone's kind of Cockney on the street.
Speaking English,
I don't know.
with no accent.
It was odd. And in the end, his mum says, some things aren't meant to live, or and he's going, yeah, you're right. And he jumps off the side of a building and just disintegrates into flames. Just ignites. Goes up like a rocket, really.
I'm sorry, we skipped the dumbest part of this, where they are able to use the Radium X to look into a dead guy's eyes to see Janos going to strangle him.
Janos's face, yeah. He says, put the UV light on and we'll have a look. There was some really dodgy science, let's face it. But the problem I am with it wasn't scary at all. and it was just a melodrama, wasn't it? Really, with some sci-fi
Yeah.
trappings. But really, it was kind of a melodrama thriller, and it just wasn't very well written. Really, the saving grace was Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff. I thought Bela Lugosi particularly really quite a good performance. I mean, Karloff always gives a good performance, so I don't expect any difference. But Lugosi, I mean, this is about the same time he'd be doing Igor as well. So he was particularly strong around 1934 to 37, 38 in some of his work. And I really like Lugosi. Why they didn't have him as the Hungarian, I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Maybe he didn't want to be like a villain again.
Yeah, maybe. The thing is...
Maybe this was like part of getting out of Dracula. So
The other thing is, his young wife, I could kind of see a young wife wanting to be with some Bela Lugosi, but not Boris Karloff.
yeah, especially how he looks in this, because he's got like mad hair.
He's got mad hair.
It's not a good look.
I think they were trying to make him look a bit like Einstein or something. I don't know.
Maybe. But there was a pretty good bit where he was like hunting his wife, and he kind of just rolled back into just doing the Frankenstein monster
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah, do you think
so he
that
just
was...
sort of like held his arm out and like sort of like waved him at her.
Was that an Easter egg? You think an Easter egg? I don't know.
No, it's just he's probably fallen back on old habits, sort of thing.
Yeah. It's a kind of silly morality play, really. I kind of like his mum. She was weird, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And I bet when the kids saw this, it wasn't the film as such. It was like the weird Janosch and all that stuff. That's probably what they liked. And the sci-fi stuff, probably. But it was goofy otherwise. It wasn't a great film. It's a shame that we kind of opening and shutting the book on Universal with this one, because it isn't great. But
Yeah.
I would have done it as part of the run if I'd have realised it wasn't part of the Invisible Man series, actually. But never mind. I was wondering if I've missed a few more. I might actually just go through the Universal catalogue and just check. But I've got a feeling they're all going to be like this level or worse, actually. It's still not the worst universe. It's where would you put it? I put it towards the bottom of the Universals.
Yeah,
This one.
definitely.
Yeah, it was pretty poor. It's still not quite as bad as Werewolf of London. That was terrible. In fact, you didn't watch that, did you? Oh man, it was bad.
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, so not a great film. Do you want to rate it? What would you give this out of 10?
I'd give this about 3.5. It was just so boring.
It was boring.
So boring and not very creepy. So.
No, it was. Thankfully, it was quite short. That's one virtue of it. But yeah, it wasn't great. Was it just over 65 minutes or something?
It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh man. Okay, maybe it was longer than I remember then. Okay, all right. Okay, it went on way too long then.
Yeah.
I just thought it was me. Okay, all right then. Let's wind up there. So, show 600. How about that? Right. Ooh. I should have looked. I did intend to look at what show 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 were, just to give us a feels. But I forgot, and I can't be bothered now. So we're not big on.
We can do that for 1,000. So.
Yeah, let's save it to 1,000. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. Okay then, great. So, bye from me.
Bye.